Hola.
Camp, baby.
We're here.
Camp, baby.
We are back, and we are ready for another mini episode. You know, eventually one of these days, we're not going to have mini episodes when it's just us two, because one day there will be a ton to talk about. But for right now, it's mini episode time.
For right now, we're going to waste your time for the next 25, 30 minutes.
There we go.
Hopefully 30 minutes.
Yeah. I like the mini episodes. I think it's better than not doing it. And then we get to like little pop into people's lives for just 30 minutes a week.
Yeah, for sure.
What have you been up to in the last 2 weeks?
Man, dude, I've just been on my routine, man. Been on a good routine.
I've been off my routine for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've been hitting the gym 5 to 6 days a week. Eating clean, eating good.
I'm doing the opposite.
Working at the studio. That's pretty much a lot of it. I've been helping one of my friends get ready for his wedding. And
how are you helping get ready for?
Well, he's gonna get married at Superstition Farms.
Okay.
And so I'm doing what I can to help him. In the coming weeks, we're gonna be like cleaning up the farm and getting it ready for a wedding.
Oh shit!
He's gonna bring in it's Pat's older brother, Brian.
Oh nice! You guys, you have to go in and kill all the animals that are there.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's great.
that's how everyone at the wedding's gonna eat. Yeah. No, it's really cool though. They have goats and like donkeys and peacocks, and it's like
nice.
Kind of like a farm with like a petting zoo.
Is it like their farm?
No. He just I'm not quite sure how he met the person, but yeah, it's gonna be really cool, man. So I went there with him on Sunday.
Nice.
To check it out, and he was just taking measurements and figuring out, all the seating. It's gonna be a big wedding though. I think he's gonna have like 250 to 300 people there.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. So
by like the 280th person's gonna be fed rat.
Yeah,
it's like two we ran out. My grandma's eating donkey right now. It's like it's the best we could do. We killed everyone.
Yeah. So man, it's been a good last couple weeks,
I've been doing the exact opposite. I did not work out for 2 weeks, which is the longest I've gone.
I'd go mentally insane.
I started too. Yeah, I'm feeling not great right now. I started working out again like this week on Monday.
What threw it off? What threw off the rotation?
Oh boy.
Let's go deep. Let's take a deep dive into
I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I've been having a lot of ice cold brews recently with my boys, and I've been doing a ton of fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm still like active, but I haven't been lifting, and
you're in vacation mode
for no reason. Yeah, I haven't gone anywhere.
Mode.
I haven't done anything. But let's see. I started 2 weeks ago. Went to a food and wine fest out here.
That was the trigger.
That's a trigger.
That's the trigger for you.
That's where it was. I got a hotel for 2 nights. I do this every year, and it's called Devour, and it's like the best chefs in the state come in, and then it's unlimited like beer and wine tastings, but you just drink a ton of them and you eat a ton of food, and it's amazing. It's the best day in the world. And so we went both days, got hotels, and I got home and I was like, oh, I don't feel good. I don't want to do this. And I don't know. I just I took some time up. Sometimes I'll take like a week and then I come back and I feel more refreshed. But this was like literally 2 weeks, and I was like, I did not.
Do you feel refreshed?
No.
After the 2 weeks of...
Dude, no, because I did that. And then I went, I was like, I need to get out of the house. Like I haven't been working out. I need to like do something. So I was like, I'm just going to go fish the canal for a little bit. So I went and fished the canal. And I was like, all right. The next day I woke up because I've been like just not feeling great the last couple weeks. It's been weird. I was like nauseous for like no reason out of nowhere multiple times. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna get out of town. So I went to out by Payson to go fly fishing, and I didn't pay attention at all to the weather. I didn't check it, and there was a severe wind, like extreme wind hazard. It's saying like it'll make it difficult to drive. It's gonna be so windy, and so I didn't realize till I got out there. I was like, all right, it's a little windy. It's really hard to like throw a fly when there's a ton of wind, and the place is like super difficult that I went to. So I'm just stuck in shit the whole day. Then the wind starts, and I literally have to like start crouching so that I don't fall over. out there. It's like so fucking bad.
And you're a tall drink of water.
I'm a tall drink of water.
So tall drinks of water fall over easier than short kings like myself.
They do, yeah.
So I got a little bit more stability because I'm like,
I'm top heavy.
Yeah, you're top heavy.
I'm top heavy.
You got these broad shoulders, your tall glass of water, and
there's branches flying that are larger than my legs for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like, it gets fucking crazy. I finally land a fish after losing 20 flies in different trees. And then I catch another tree again. I wiggle, and my brand new, like, it's a super nice fly rod. It just snaps in fucking half. The last time I went to this spot, I lost my wedding ring. My friend chipped his tooth. Like, every time I go here, it's detrimental and I lose a lot of money. Like, something of value, like, every single time so far it's been like $1,000 goes away every time. But I need to keep going back and get better there, because it's like, that's how hard it is for me. Eventually I'll just be like good and I won't lose any money when I go there. But so I broke that. I get back, and then I met a guy on Reddit recently.
This is always a good start to a fucking conversation. All right, I want to know it now. I'm locked in now.
You're locked in.
Yeah, I'm actually listening now.
I met a guy on Reddit, and I was like, he was talking about fishing and stuff, and he's like, hey, I come out to Arizona every now and then. Like, I want to do that. Like, what do you do? And I was like, send me your Instagram. And so I looked at his Instagram to make sure he wasn't like, to see if he was somebody that I could see like spending time with and not.
You're gonna be on the next To Catch a Predator.
See if he was my type. I wanted to see if he was my type or not. And so I like look at it, I was like, oh, this guy's cool. Like, he likes a lot of the same shit. And he happened to be in town this week, so we go out and we go fishing with Mouse Powell and Mouse's friend.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you went and met up with this guy by yourself.
No, well, I did at first, and Mouse came like 2 hours later, but he was actually pretty cool.
That's
just
so
me
dangerous.
and I'm like, meet me in the middle of nowhere.
You almost got abducted, dude.
Dude, I sent him like a pin to just like the middle of nowhere on a canal.
How funny would that be if like months go by, we haven't heard from Ryan, and we're like, fuck, dude, where's our bass player?
My bloated
and
body
then we
just
see
floating in the canal.
Yeah, and then a few months later we just see you on an episode of To Catch a Predator.
No, I'm not the predator. He could be the predator.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's the predator, but your body is the one that we find on this show.
It turns out he wasn't a predator. He ended up being pretty cool, but we fish all day on this canal, and Mouse and his friend leave, and it's just me and this dude, and I had like nobody caught anything. And so I was like, let's start walking back to the cars, and I'm probably going to take off. And I turn, and like my stomach just starts hurting like kind of bad. And I'm like, oh.
Dude, every time you go somewhere, your stomach hurts.
I don't know what's going on.
Your stomach always hurts.
Do you think it? I was looking online. I was Googling things. I was like, what can I do to like fix my like stomach? And then while I was doing that, I was putting more nicotine pouches in my mouth.
Nicotine and alcohol.
And beer.
That's what it is.
And so I was like, dude, my stomach it's hurting. But I was like, all right, maybe it's in my head, because this is diarrhea energy. This is like the whole thing behind it is I don't really know if it's real or not. It could be imaginary diarrhea, or it could be like
self-induced diarrhea.
And so we started walking a little more. I was like, I'll get to my car and then figure it out from there, And so we start walking, and it starts getting worse and worse. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to have diarrhea on this canal, like in this homeless camp. I'm going to have to like shit here. And I would start freaking out. I'm panicking. And I'm with this guy who I don't know at all. I'm like, dude, I can't just like shit in front of this man I met on Reddit.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, man, I think I just actually want to stay here for a couple hours longer, because I had to think of a time that he was just like, oh, I'm just going to like head out then.
You had to make it diarrhea.
So I was like, hey, man, I think I just like really want to keep fishing right now. And the meantime, I'm like sweating, and it's not that hot out. I'm just like, dude, I do not feel good. But he's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to take off. And so I just like start running as fast as I can to the opposite side where he wouldn't be able to see. And I find I have everything planned out in my head.
Do you have toilet paper on you?
I weirdly do, luckily. Because I think I woke up that morning. I was like, I don't feel great. I need to like be prepared. And so I slam an Imodium like as fast as I can without him seeing, like before I did. And I'm like, all right, I probably got like 45 minutes before this kicks in and I'll be okay to like actually drive home. But right now I'm fucked. And so I'm sweating. I'm fighting it for no reason. I should have just like given in. But I get to like the pinnacle of it's time. Like I need to surrender and I need to have gross diarrhea on the side of this road. And the only place to do it is one of the busiest freeways in Arizona is overseeing where this one tree is that I was gonna like I was gonna have to hide under the tree. And so I started taking off like my fishing stuff and like putting it on the ground. I was like, I just have to fucking do this. I don't have a choice. And as I'm starting to run or walk like down this hill to my new toilet and new home maybe for the next few hours, this guy goes, hey, 1 second. And he just starts running towards me.
Is it the Reddit guy?
No, it's some other guy that's fucking fishing the canals. And he's like, and he walks up to me and I was like, all right, well, I just got to hold it together. And so he's talking to me and I'm just sweating bullets. I'm like, yeah, man, it's pretty fun, isn't it? And I'm just like, dude, like I want him to leave, but now I need to find a spot where he's not going to be.
Yeah.
And by the time we got through it, the medicine had cured me and I was like I was good to go, but
there's no climax to this story.
There's no that's the climax.
I'm so let down.
I did not.
I wanted you to fit.
I'm still like I haven't shit my pants
that's
or anything
such a bummer.
in like 6 years.
I wanted you to diarrhea your little fishing pants.
It's going to happen one of these days.
What do they call waders?
I don't wear those like when I'm at the canal. I did wear them when I was out.
Do you wear anything cool like cargo pants that you bought at like PacSun?
I wear some cool shit. They're called Vans and jeans and t-shirts. I just wear
Don't
normal.
your feet fucking hurt wearing Vans out there all the time?
You put 6 miles a day in Vans.
I stopped wearing Vans a couple years ago because they started hurting my feet a lot. I think because of how flat they are.
No, I finally bought just like a couple months ago. I finally bought some hiking boots that are.
I need to buy some hiking boots because I wanted to go up to Sedona recently because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of cool and snowy up there right now.
It was snowing, or not snowing, but there was snow on the ground at the spot I was at. It was pretty dope.
Yeah, I need to get a pair of decent boots that I could actually hike in.
Yeah, I just got them. It's life-changing when you're actually walking a lot.
So you weren't wearing those though?
I was not. No, I was wearing Vans, and it was.
Do you walk in the water with the Vans?
No.
So when you're fly fishing, you're not in the water.
Well, it depends on where I'm at. If I'm in like, so when I go up to Payson, I'm doing like trout stuff. I'll wear the waders, and then I have like wading boots that are waterproof that like, let water out. But yeah, no. So did that. I've been fishing last couple of days, and it's so many crises averted recently. But
speaking of
my new friend is actually really cool. I like him a lot, and we had a good time. He caught like a massive, like probably like 35 pounds.
Your new Reddit bud?
Yeah, dude.
What is this group that you found him on? What's it called? What?
It's just like fisherman searching for fishermen.
Yeah. Are searching for fishermen.
Are fishermen searching for
like-minded fishermen?
Fisher them, maybe even too. No, yeah, it's like there's like this fly fishing.
Fisher them.
There's a fly fishing Reddit, and I honestly fucking hate it because everybody on it is like really elitist. Annoying. They suck. Yeah.
Are they like really elitist?
Yeah, dude. If you post a picture of a fish, they're like, how dare you touch that fish? And you're just like, do you even like fishing? Like, that's the whole point. Like, I want them to live, and I do. And
there's
you learn a lot.
There's PETA that infiltrate that group.
100%.
And then they're like, put that fish back.
Yeah,
that fish doesn't belong.
Well, no,
to you.
a lot of the fishermen, they're like, because the trout are so fucking delicate. But then you see like Arizona Game and Fish, and they'll just drop like 1,000 fish from a helicopter into a lake, and then somebody yells at me if I hold it out of the water. Yeah, it's like a giant truck, and they just like they all bounce off the truck onto the bumper, and then bounce off the bumper into the lake. And then some guy's yelling at me if I hold it like this much out of the water. He's like, keep them in the water. Like it's so dumb. Everybody thinks they know everything. But this dude hit me up. I mean, he's cool.
I saw a video the other day online of a grizzly bear just grabbing a salmon out of the water and just skinning, like pulling the skin off of the whole fish. I was like, oh, that sucks.
Dude,
you just get skinned alive. That'd be a whack way to go.
Yeah.
How long do you stay alive? Like that's what the Comanches would do to people. They'd skin people alive.
Yeah, and they just leave them.
Dude,
they do it to like kids
or like
babies and girls?
That's crazy. How long can you live while being skinned alive, you think?
I would say not long. I don't know. My expert judgment would say not very long without skin. I feel like skin's an important part of a body.
But like, if you don't start like at the head, like if you start on the arm, like what if a bear just gets a good nice chunky and just starts peeling you down?
Peeling your sleeves off?
I wonder how long until you start bleeding out.
After you're de-sleeved, I feel like you would bleed out, but then also like just the infection, and it can't be.
You know that scene in Cabin Fever when she's in the bathtub and she goes to shave her legs and the skin just peels off with the razor.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh man, they're gonna show this girl naked, and then she just starts falling apart,
and then her skin just starts falling off.
Her back's like, oh,
dude, that scene is so good.
Yeah, I love that movie.
That movie's great.
Do you know what I also love is Cabin in the Woods.
Yes,
that movie is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's such a perfect like.
You know what? I need to rewatch that movie, dude. That's a good one for the podcast, maybe.
Oh yeah, because it's like it has like every aspect. It's funny.
It's fun.
It knows what it is. It's kind of like almost making fun of horror movies, but it is a horror movie still, and it's really it's an entertaining movie.
Yeah.
I saw a video the other day of a guy in Flagstaff, I think, or somewhere in northern Arizona, and a mountain lion was like coming after him, and he's in the middle of these walls of like rocks, and it's running dude. Around. It's so scary.
And he's shooting at it, right?
No, not that one.
He's in like a canyon.
Well, there's like
I might be getting my
really tall rocks around
it,
but the thing just starts running back and forth like it's gonna take him out, and he's just standing in the middle like not knowing what to do. But
that's scary, dude.
It's really scary.
Big cats are scary.
I think in like Yellowstone they just reintroduced in Yellowstone. I think they just reintroduced wolves.
They did.
And
it's a highly controversial thing right now.
Yeah, right? It's supposed to be like really good for the environment, but I can't imagine that I would want a bunch of wolves around me.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't know enough about how all that stuff works, but it really is interesting to hear, like, because like sometimes on podcasts, like on Joe Rogan's podcast, he'll have like big hunters on that know a lot about hunting.
How big? Like 350, 400?
Like, you know who Steve Ranella is?
Yeah.
I've never actually watched his show, but guys like him and like Cam Haines, like bow hunters, he'll have like famous bow hunters on all the time.
Yeah. I tried watching some of that stuff. I just have I have no interest in hunting, so it's like
it's so interesting to me that you're not interested in that, but you're interested in fishing. I guess they're two very different things. Very different,
yeah. Like if I accidentally killed a fish, I would feel like nothing almost. But if I accidentally killed a deer, I would feel like if I hit a deer with my car, I'd feel bad for the deer. If I hit a fish with my car, I'd be like, oh, that sucks. I'd just keep going.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Are you hitting fish with your car pretty often out there?
You could.
Yeah.
You could try.
You get pissed because you're not catching any fish, so you just drive your Audi into the canal.
Dude, it was my first time taking it off road.
To teach them a lesson.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah, no, I was talking to my friend, Derek Dietz.
Yeah.
He's living out in like Georgia. He lives like outside the city, and he only eats meat that he catches now. Hunts.
Really?
Yeah, he said he's rarely eating any meat, and like his diet is primarily meat. Because he's
hunting a lot.
Yeah. And so he's eating a ton of elk and deer, and I think he hunts pigs.
Have you heard of I think they're called prions or something, that are in a lot of deer and some elk, and they like
the disease?
Yeah, you can't cook them out. Like they can live up to like 1,000 degrees of like.
Well, there's also ticks. There's ticks you can get out in the wilderness that if you get what's it called? It's like
the Lyme disease. Yeah.
Is it Lyme disease?
Yeah.
But you can get that, but then there's another one that ticks have that if it bites a human, it can make you allergic to meat.
Oh yeah.
To where you can't eat meat anymore.
There's
you can't eat red meat.
You can't digest the proteins. And then there's there's bugs
what's that called?
In deer, and they think that it might be going over to people, but it's like it just kills you, and there's nothing you can do. If you eat it, it's like in your system, and you can never get it out. There's no like medicine for it. Like they can survive like insane heats, more than fire. Lighting it on fire wouldn't kill it.
Yeah.
So that always kind of makes me a little weird, even though it's rare. It's like that's a real thing. on deer.
Dude, but that's like how you're saying, because I've never been hunting, and I would imagine, like, I was talking to Derek briefly about it, and he was just like, he's like, dude, if you ever want to come up to Georgia, I'll take you with me, and like we'll go hunting. But he was like, be prepared. It's an insane experience when you first kill an animal. Like it's a very, very heavy thing.
Yeah.
But it's like literally the most, you know, he said it's just like the most ancestral, like spiritual thing you can experience, because it's literally just about like the cycle of life.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is like we're all so detached with the way like society works now with our food, that like we're super willing to just like walk into a store and take meat off the shelf that somebody else killed.
Right.
We have no idea what it's like to actually provide for ourselves and kill the meat that we're eating. And so
unless we're eating carbs,
the friends that I do know that like eat meat that they killed, feel like they have a deeper understanding of where they're getting their food, and it's like a very fulfilling thing, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, even with fishing, like if you go fishing for a day and then you take that fish home and it feeds you and your friends
feel like you did
or something, it's like, it's a good feeling of like, oh, I'm capable of feeding myself with like very few like resources. And I don't know, it's like, it's that, and I'm not against hunting at all, because obviously I eat meat, and I think that's way more humane than what the food that we're generally eating is going through. And I don't know. It's just, it is like a thing. I think I would have a hard time watching like a fucking big, beautiful creature die in front of you, you know?
That's what he was saying. He's like, these creatures are so big and magnificent and beautiful, and like taking its life is a really intense experience.
Yeah.
And, but dude, like one deer, Stevie, can you look this up? What is an average deer? How much meat does an average deer yield? Or even like an elk.
Take a guess first.
Or even an elk too. Like I'm pretty sure you have like 5 to 6 months of meat, dude. For your family, dude. Like,
oh yeah.
Think about how crazy that is. Like
a lot of prions in there.
How much?
84.
84 pounds.
I was gonna guess way more. 60 pounds. So if you eat a pound a day, that's 3 months.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Well, and also like with deer and stuff.
And then if you have some chickens,
deer are like
you have
so
some
invasive.
chickens and goats.
Deer are so invasive, and they do like fuck things up. So you can.
So you gotta kill those fuckers.
Yeah, you have to. Well, that's what the wolves do. The wolves go in and they eat all the small things that are eating the smaller things that feed the fish and the ground and all that stuff. And they're kind of like, there's small, I don't know if they're rodents or birds or like what they are that's actually like fucking up the environment out there. But things can get out of hand really quickly, where even in the fishing world, like if you are like your boots in a certain mud, if you go to a different area, you can be bringing over a bug over there that could wipe out all the fish. So you have to, it's really like, it's crazy how sensitive like ecosystems are.
I'm laughing because I just had memories of Andy driving when deer, like the most fucked up shit on tour was when we'd be doing a night drive through Texas, and it's mainly Texas that has the most deer. Like
the most I've ever seen, and
the most
Utah,
we've ever seen while you're driving is just. I remember.
No, remember Utah,
dude. I know like Andy's face that he would make when he'd see a sign, like a deer sign, like a warning deer sign. He would clench the wheel and just get fucked. Like,
dude,
start
feel
sweating.
my hands. Feel my hands. They're
like,
so sweaty. Feel.
Yeah, he'd make us touch his hand, and then he'd be gripping, and he'd just be waiting for deer, and I'd be sitting in the passenger seat like, oh, there's one. Oh, there's one, and then they just start popping up all over the sides of the road. They're just staring. They like are staring at you on the side of the road, like in a way that says, I might jump out in front of your van at any minute because I'm an idiot.
Oh, dude,
and that's all they do. They're stupid.
The only other thing that would scare him more than that would be like bridges, like really high bridges. And I remember we were in like Virginia or something, and it's one of the longest, I forget what it's called, but it's like the longest stretch of bridge in America. And it's like 20 miles
isn't
of
it
bridge.
Near Philadelphia or
it's
something?
Like, it's on the East Coast somewhere. And it part of it goes underwater,
it's
and part
ridiculous.
of it goes like straight up.
It's an underwater bridge. It was
it's like a
fucking
fucking roller coaster you have to drive yourself on. And we were going, and he just gets off, and I was like, oh shit, Andy, look at that bridge that's coming up, and it looks like it just goes straight up.
Yeah.
And I remember him looking like he was gonna like fucking faint, and I get bad anxiety too. Obviously, I fucking talk about it all the time, and he's like, you drive, and I was like, dude, I can't do this either. So you're underwater, and it's like stop and go traffic, and so it's like I have a hard enough time in rush hour here as it is, but
I'm surprised, like, dude, I'm surprised our parents didn't freak out. I'm sure my mom was freaking out, but the amount of just dangerous situations we had to be in while touring.
Yeah.
Just driving alone, like just logistically.
I wonder if my parents ever thought about it once.
I just like, there are definitely moments that if my mom saw the situation we were in, like stuck in a snowstorm while there's cars flipped over on the freeway or going down a mountain, I will never forget that time in Colorado when we were driving up that mountain in a snowstorm and a semi was driving back the other way down the mountain, and he stopped us and he said, you got to turn around.
He's like, you guys will die.
He's like, it's bad. You need to turn around now.
Dude, and
so we turned
sliding
around, and then we were coming down the mountain and people are sliding. And so
we were
Tim,
I was in the very
he
back.
made us put our seatbelts on. Tim, our tour manager, he turned around, he's like, wake Andy up, put your seatbelts on. So Andy wakes up and he's freaking out.
Well, shit was like falling down the side, and there's no barrier.
Dude.
It was just a cliff with no like edge, and it was just like almost a one-way lane that we had to somehow turn our van and trailer around in, and there's semis coming.
Yeah.
And the semi drivers is like, hey, you guys will die if you keep going.
It was called Wolf's Creek Pass. For the Colorado listeners that might be on here, it was called Wolf's Creek Pass, and it was in Colorado on the way to Denver.
I remember being in the back seat, and it was so scary that I had my backpack set up and I put my winter gear on. Like I had like my jacket because I was
so
convinced that we were gonna like fall over.
So did I.
I had my seatbelt on. I had my bag with like my belongings, and I had like a little bit of food in it, and like I crammed like 4 water bottles in my backpack. I was like convinced I was gonna have to survive in the snow for a little bit by myself. And I was just like, I remember sitting there and I was holding on to the thing and like had my hand ready to like pop the thing off and go out the back door. But it was so scary. That was probably one of the most scary. That, and also just anytime you're driving at night in the snow and you're trying to sleep and you start feeling that like crunchy, like it's like a crunchy feeling when the ice starts slipping and you feel that kind of move. It gives me chills.
Do you think like say we got really actually stranded? I know we got to wrap this one up soon, but this is a good one. If we got stranded on the side of the mountain, and we fell into like a ditch somewhere off the road where no one could really hear us or see us, and do you think you would eat someone's body to stay alive 10, 15 days in?
Tanner.
Oh, you're picking bodies right now.
I thought that was the question.
No, but let's just jump right into it. Why Tanner's body? You just like the way his body looks the most?
Well, and at the time,
his body isn't going to have nearly as many toxins as like Andy's body.
And so that's at the time, he wasn't working out as much, and I feel like they're like now I probably wouldn't eat him because he's like more lean.
Got you. Okay.
But back then you maybe could have gotten a little more protein out of him. I think so. I'm not saying that he was fat, but I'm saying I think he would have tasted better back then than he would now.
That's like the nicest way to tell someone they've gotten in better shape.
Yeah. It's like, I wouldn't eat you anymore.
Fuck, dude. Well, the reason I brought that up is because I recently watched that movie. It's like a reenactment story of the
plane,
the Brazilian soccer team or whatever that crashed in the like Chilean mountains.
It's so scary.
Did you watch that movie?
Yeah, it's so good. It's
pretty good, dude. And how they start, just slowly eating people.
Yeah, the one guy's like, I'm not gonna do it, and he's like shivering,
and they're
everybody
like, quit being
else
a bitch. Eat your friend.
They're like, dude, just do it. And
here's some of John's liver.
They hand him like an ear, and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
I would eat people the next day. I think I'd be like, dude, I'm not gonna.
Well, you'd have to, man.
Yeah. Well, some of they went like 11 days. I think it was like a good amount of time before they start eating people. Like I would be like almost like maybe that by that night. If I crash at 7 a.m., I think by 7 p.m. I might be cutting somebody open.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I'd have to. I'd be hungry. Like, why make yourself even weaker going 11 days for your, like, pride? It would suck, though, if you, like, went 10 days and then you ate your buddy's like fucking nose or something, and then somebody comes and gets you right there and you just have a stomach full of your buddy and they're like, oh, like if I just waited 30 more minutes, I wouldn't have had to eat my best friend.
Yeah.
You just got like a
and
stomach.
then you just have to live the rest of your life.
You got a stomach full of John and you're looking at everybody like, I'm out here.
Yeah.
I'm free now.
Where do you think, like, realistically, like, if we were both stranded, I'm dead, I'm laying next to you because the cold knocked me out first, and you're like, well, I'll have to eat him. What part of my body are you going for first? Honestly, no jokes aside, this isn't funny anymore.
Your body particularly?
My body particularly. If I'm laying there, I'm laying there. You I mean, to
like my first taste?
Yeah, and to assess it, like you can, I'll let you know right now.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the table if this ever happens. You can fully unclothe me, get me naked, so you can assess like what maybe might be the right thing to eat first.
Yeah.
Just so you can check out my body, check out what areas you might want to, like, keep in mind, I've been doing a lot of squats lately, so my butt,
it's nicer.
It's getting a little thicker. Okay. A little juicier.
I don't know if I'd eat ass first.
And keep in mind, I do have a huge Blink-182 tattoo on my left butt cheek. So, like, I don't know if there's toxins associated with like tattooed areas. My right butt cheek, though, should be fair game.
Dude, maybe it's like spicier.
I'm thinking if you fillet that off, it wouldn't be much different than like a grass-fed burger.
Maybe.
And I've been eating a lot of organic food recently.
We're talking about some
like,
human rump roast.
So, like, because I haven't had any alcohol in a long time, and I've been eating organic, these things factor into picking my body over, Tanner's.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I haven't eaten, if I've never eaten a person, hypothetically, if I've never eaten a person, the first bite that I would go for, I would have to start like really small. Like I'd probably just like
ear.
I'd probably like an earlobe at first and just be like,
what's it like? Would you cut it off first, or would you just straight nibble on my ear?
It depends on what I have around.
Would you cut it off first, or just come up next to me and...
I would have to I would slice it off with a little bit of plane that's left over. If I find like a little piece of plane, I could cut off your ear.
Shrap? You're going to take some plane strap and just fucking...
Yeah.
Some shrapnel?
Shrapnel. And I would probably taste a lobe, and then I'd maybe go organs first before they go out. Because then it's like, if you eat a human liver,
like my
and it
liver,
tastes like weird or something, like I feel like your liver is definitely way better than my liver.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to eat my liver at all. And I would probably eat your liver, because then it would be more like, oh, like I'm having a meal. Like this is not Andrew's liver.
Like
this
you're basically liver king.
Yeah.
You're liver kinging.
Yeah, I'd probably get into that stuff first, and then I would start hitting the ass, hard. And I'd start hitting the legs. I'd probably do the fingers.
The legs. See, my legs are still kind of skinny, but like my quads are getting a little better.
Yeah.
But if you go down to like my calves, I don't have that much
be an appetizer
rocking in there, but it could be a nice starter.
I'm kind of curious. I bet you fingers are probably interesting. It could be like a
chicken finger type
wing
thing
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see when we get there.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good way to
wrap this one up.
End this podcast.
Yeah. Thank you guys for thank you.
Can you just zoom in on his face when he just goes, thank you?